The US House of Reps Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, has started her tour of Asia. No mention just yet of visiting Taiwan. A release from her office states that she'll visit Singapore, Malaysia, South Korea and Japan. But it didn't specify whether she will be making other stops. It's widely reported that she may well be considering, which has ruffled some feathers in China, understandably. A visit to Taiwan would show America's support for the self-ruled island that's still claimed by China. And President Xi Jinping previously warned President Biden to abide by the One China principle. A US House Speaker has not visited Taiwan since 1997, so it's been some time. On that note, let's bring in the political analyst and professor at Curtin University, Joe Siracusa. Do you think she'll go, Joe?
Yes, I do, Pete. I mean, if she goes, we won't know about it until the visit's over, as a matter of fact. That's the way those visits to those kinds of places turn out.
Something will emerge on social media, though, don't you reckon, Joe?
Well, yeah, we'll probably figure it out. Look, what we do know for certain is Nancy Pelosi has made a career of antagonizing Beijing, beginning with one-person demonstration in Tiananmen Square in 1997. So, you know, she's got a really good form on this to irritate these people. And everyone, I mean, the administration thinks it's a bad idea for a number of reasons, because they can't control what the Chinese are going to do. And the Chinese are under enormous pressure to do something about it. Xi is looking at his third term in office, and he's talking tough. Remember what John Kennedy did, because Cuba was only 90 miles from America. Well, Taiwan is 100 miles from the mainland. And it would be this is just a bad idea. I mean, it's unhelpful. We'd like to resolve this thing. We have to turn this relationship around. I mean, next to the Russians and Ukraine, this is the second most important thing. I'm not even going to mention Ukraine, Iran or North Korea, which used to be the hot spots the day before yesterday. So she's going to have to figure out what to do if she gets there. And of course, if the Chinese intervene, and I'm mostly worried, and other people are worried, that there's going to be an accident. You know, what if the Chinese military try to accompany the plane into Taiwanese airspace, and then we got something new. But look, Pete, this is, I keep thinking of that great line by Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. This is the worst idea in a long history of bad ideas. I mean, this is not useful.
I mean, bearing in mind that Biden and Xi Jinping, they had a phone call just last week, and Xi Jinping told Biden, you play with Taiwan, you play with fire. That's essentially what he was saying. Now, what are they likely to do if Nancy Pelosi goes to Taiwan? What sort of message do you think China is realistically going to send?
Well, I think, actually, I think the Chinese leader had a bit of an argument with the president. The president's talking about human rights, and this guy's talking about the legality to Taiwan. And I think there would be... it can't be any worse in terms of trade or politics, but I think there'd be some kind of military application. Keep in mind that the PLA, which is their armed forces, has been spoiling for a fight. They're going to be under enormous pressure to show that they have done something. And I'm afraid that even if there's a demonstration of power and it goes haywire, that then something else worse would come.
Sorry, Joe. So it would be something more than what they usually do, which is their grey war tactics. It's their constant invasion of Taiwanese airspace. It'd be a step up from that.
Well, yeah, look, the president of China has told the president of the United States to rack off. And if he doesn't do that, something's going to happen. Well, I mean, it's their neighborhood to have all those anti-air assets there. They got their own Navy there. They're all set to go. And, you know, Pete, America's not going to have a lot of friends if this one is pushed. I mean, diplomacy is about managing the impossible. Nancy Pelosi going there right now is like adding petrol to a fire, for God's sakes. It's not useful, it's unhelpful, and I can't understand exactly why she's pressing it.
Well, I mean, look at what Vladimir Putin's done over in Ukraine, given that Biden is in power, and he's tested that completely. And I wonder if Xi Jinping may use this as his opportunity to have a crack at a weakened White House.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I were one of his advisors, I'd say probe as much as possible, because the United States isn't doing too much. I mean, Biden has been very weak on all this. On top of everything else, he's bedridden with COVID, his second
Yeah.
case of COVID in about 14 days. And so, yeah, I think it's time maybe that you're going to see the Chinese probe a little bit. It's quite clear that Biden doesn't want to fight. You know, he just doesn't want to fight. President Trump before him was risk averse. I mean, this is Chinese turf. Everybody seems to know it, except the activist advisors in Washington. And keep in mind, this is the only damn issue where the Republicans and Democrats seem to agree in Washington. They want a more forceful stand against China. I don't know what they're talking about, Pete. My generation had a bunch of stupid people at the top who got us all involved in Vietnam. And at the end of it, we lost South Vietnam, we lost everything else, and we lost, well, shall we say, our innocence in the 1960s. So, you know, I think bad leadership can have repercussions for years and years to come. And I just hope, you know, common sense takes over.
All right, just topping off the Biden presidency, this all is.
Yes,
we've still got a ways to go. Joe Siracusa, good to chat. Talk to you soon.